Hadia people. Hadia Amharic, Hadia, also spelled as Hadia, is an ethnic group native to Ethiopia in southern nationalities and peoples region who speak the Hadia language. According to a popular etymology, the name Hadia, sometimes written in the versions Hadia, Hadia, Hadiji, Hadio, Hadia, Hadia, means gift of God. A historical definition of the Hadia people based on the old Hadia Sultanate included a number of Ethiopian ethnic groups currently known by other names. Currently, this history, the Hadia people are the scattered remnants of a formerly much larger ethnic complex under the once mighty Muslim principality called Hadia Sultanate. Hadia are believed to be originally descendants of old Sidama Highland East Cushitic and the extinct Harla people who lived under the Harla kingdom in the 9th century. A cluster of speakers labeled Hadia Sidama developed, maintaining Islamic identity and later creating the Hadia Sultanate as founding population. According to Hadia elders, the dynasty was started by descendants of Harar Emir of Adir, who intermarried with Sidama. The earliest surviving mention of Hadia is in the Kebra Nagast ch. 94, indicating that the kingdom was in existence by the 13th century. Another early mention is in a manuscript written on the island monastery of Lake Hague, which states that after conquering Damat, Emperor Amda I proceeded to Hadia and brought it under his control using Gira armies from modern-day Eritrea, which would later become Guraj region. Later, during Amda reign, the king of Hadia, Amano, refused to submit to the emperor of Ethiopia. Amano was encouraged in this by a Muslim prophet of darkness named Balaam. Amda subsequently set forth for Hadia, where he slew the inhabitants of the country with the point of the sword, killing many of the inhabitants while enslaving others. Arab historian Shihab el-Din al-Umari 1300–1349 referred to Hadia as a rich, the largest, and militarily the most powerful Muslim state among the 7 states of the Muslim Federation of Zila. Absence of strong successors to Amda provided the border states almost a century in which to reorganize their power. Hadia once again emerged as a cohesive unit. Its army was estimated at 40,000 horsemen and double the amount of foot soldiers. During the reign of Zara Yaqub 1434–1468, Garud Mahiko, the son of Garud Mehmed, or Sultan of Hadia, repeated his predecessor's actions and refused to submit to the Abyssinian emperor. The war between Abyssinian Empire and Muslim principalities was intensified during the reign of Emperor Zara Yaqub. Initially, the Muslims were under the leadership of Badli, king of Adal. Badli was killed, but Muslim conflict was sustained by Mahiko, the Garud of the Kingdom of Hadia, one of the 7 kingdoms of Zila who succeeded. However, with the help of one of Mahiko's followers, the Garud was deposed in favor of his uncle Bamo. Garud Mahiko then sought sanctuary at the court of the Adal Sultanate. He was later slain by the military contingent Adal Mabrak, who had been in pursuit. The chronicles record that the Adal Mabrak sent Mahiko's head and limbs to Zara Yaqub as proof of his death. After militarily occupying Hadia, this would result in wars with neighboring Adal Sultanate, who did not take kindly to the atrocities committed by Ethiopia against its fellow Muslim state Hadia. Adal Sultanate attempted to invade Ethiopia in response. However, the campaign was a disaster and led to the death of Sultan Badli ibn Sa'd ad-Din at Battle of Gamet. Ethiopian and Adal relations continued to sour after the Hadia incident and reached its peak at the Ethiopian-Adal War. Hadia would join the Adal armies in its invasion of Ethiopia during the 16th century. In the late 16th century, the Hadia regions were overrun by Oromo migrations, thus the Arsi Oromo today claim Hadia ancestry. Identity. Historical definition of Hadia people includes a number of Ethiopian ethnic groups currently known by other names according to ethnologist Ulrich Brockemper, who lived in various parts of southern central Ethiopia for over 4 years during his research. In his book, Titled A History of the Hadia in Southern Ethiopia, he established linkages to the ancient Hadia kingdom. Currently, Hadia is not a homogeneous ethnic group, but is rather subdivided into a number of ethnonyms, partly with different languages and cultural affiliations. They were initially all inhabitants of a single political entity, a sultanate, which in the 4th centuries following its breakdown became remarkably diverse. The Libidu Maroko, Limo, Soro, Shashugo, and Badawachcho remained a language entity and preserved an identity of oneness. The Hadia proper, whereas the Kabina Alaba, Silt people, clans of Hadia origin in Walata, parts of the East Buraj as well as descendants of an old Hadia stratum living with the Oromo and Sidon. Hadia are related to the Harari. Hadia subgroups. 1. Current Hadia-speaking groups: Hadia proper, Limo, Soro, Shashugo, Badawachcho, Habilo, Haj, Shamana, Gabara, Badugo Wixojira, Badug, Habilo. 2. Libidu Maroko total about 27 subgroups: Abotched, Agabilo, Waramana, Wirarmana, etc. 3. Cushitic-speaking, Alaba and Kabinan. 4. East Gurage-speaking, Azernit, Barber, Elbarag, Warrioro, Walain, Zay, Gadabano, Abicho, Abuser, Abiyo, Damaso, Washarmine, Kalisha, Shander. 5. Hadia clans in Arsi and Baal, Abana, Abayamana, Abur, Abusara, Halbatmana, Wanamana, Washerman, Yabsana, Udamana, Latamana, Insemana, Dalamana, etc. 6. Hadia clans in Sidama, Bush 5 clans, Fakisa, Halo, Malga, Hadichcho, and Awacho. 7. Hadia clans in Wolga among Maka Oromo around Nekeb. 8. Hadia clans in Walata total 11 subgroups: Ansumuso, Bohulmana, Dudichmana, Habaluso, Obaluso. 9. Hadia clans in Harar among Itu Oromo, total 5 subgroups: Abasara, Azelmana, Duiamana, Horsumana, Takamana, and Anakamana. 10. Alaba total 12 subgroups: Bukana, Katabo, Colmine, Shaman. 11. Hadia clans in Kambata. 12. Hadia clans in Afar and Somali. 13. Hadia clans in Amhara and Tigray Reye. 14. Hadia clans around Jima and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafaf and Kafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf and Kafaf and Kafafaf and Kafafaf. Social and political life. The Hadia nation is divided approximately into 16 subclans. Each clan traced its lineage to a single male ancestor. The clans were not restricted to any particular geographical area. They lived side by side. Some clans had a recognized leader, others did not. However, in either case, real political power was exercised by the ruling council of elders for each clan. Each clan then forwarded the leader of its council to the apex council of elders for the whole community. The overall council of elders representing all the clans was then led by a headman, or the nation's spokesman. The Hadia zone is named after the Hadia people, whose homeland covers part of this administrative division. The 2007 Ethiopian National Census reported that 1,269,382 people, or 1.5% of the population, identified themselves as Hadia, of whom 150,087 were urban inhabitants. The Southern nationalities, and peoples region is home to 93.9% of this people. Natural environment. The area occupied by the Hadia proper and groups of Hadia descent extends from the Upper Jibe in the west to the bend of the Wabai Sabel in the east. Transferred to the administrative map of Ethiopia of the 1970s, the area comprises southern Sawa, the entire General Arsi, and the north of Baal. On today's map, it covers the Hadia zone and parts of the Gurij zone in the north of the southern nations, nationalities and peoples regional state SNNPRS, and some central southern parts of Oromia. The geography of this region is characterized by a division into an eastern and a western zone by the Ethiopian Rift Valley, which is a part of the Great East African Rift System. The main areas inhabited by the Hadia, who have preserved their original ethnic identity, are situated on the western edge of the Rift Valley. East of the axis there are only parts assimilated by ethnic groups who are known by other names. The Rift Valley extends in a north-northeasterly direction from approximately 6° north latitude as a rough estimate, and continues through the Awes Depression towards the funnel-shaped Afar lowlands. Within this massive rupture zone, which came into being in the Middle Tertiary period, there is a difference in altitude of between 1250 Lake Abaya to sometimes well over 2000. Notable Hadia. Beyin Petros is a professor of biology at Addis Ababa University, former member of the Ethiopian House of People's Representatives, former chairman of Forum for Democratic Dialogue in Ethiopia or Medrek FDDE and its current head of public relations and external affairs, and chairman of Ethiopian Social Democratic Party ESP. Bezabi Petros, Abtamu Wondamu, professor of social psychology in the College of Education of Addis Ababa University, Ethiopia. Eshitu Wenchiko, professor of statistics, former president of Addis Ababa University, and founding president of Alpha University College. Abulo Tumoro singer, Sinteyehu Tilahan singer, Abagol Sufibo Nanamo, founder of Kailhiwat Church in South Ethiopia with Abba Dujaizo, Otto Shagux Dada, Otto Abeb Bushiro. Thagna Mekoro Zun, influential cultural leader of Hadia, subgroup Limo. Fantu Majazo Manido, an Ethiopian runner specializing in the 400 meters and 800 meters. Jared Amano, famous king of Hadia in 14th century. Jared Mahamed, chief of Hadia and father of Princess Eleni. Jared Mahako, famous king of Hadia in 15th century. Eleni of Ethiopia. Jared Aiz, Jared Jafar, Jared Siad. Hasan and Jambo, king of Hadia subgroup Kabin in 19th century. Gigi Garibo,